We're on the road to nowhere.
I stayed the night with trail angels, with some family friends who knew me from when I was a very young age. And that just happened to be the one day in which the worst storm of the entire trip came through. Like, we had a tornado warning. There's been this kind of pattern for me of short days and long days. Like, whenever I do a long day, I kind of often need a break afterward. I sort of feel like I need less and less of a break after a long day as I continue down this trail, which is pretty nice. But every single time I take a short day, I feel like I need to do a long day again. And I will continue, I think, on this long day to Lake Butler, where apparently there's an amazing Mexican restaurant, and I haven't tried that many restaurants at all this trip, so I'm looking forward to it. Hi.
How you doing?
Pretty well. You?
Good. Where are you walking from?
Key West.
Good man.
Yeah. That guy was nice. Just reached the halfway point of the Florida Trail, which means I guess it's a bit too late to turn around and walk back. 750 miles down and about 600 to go in Florida. It's a big state. Seems like this trail is paved for the last 4 miles into Lake Butler, which I'm not really sure I like, to be honest, but it is what it is. Those cypress trees are huge. Apparently they're like thousands of years old too, some of them. So Laredo's was amazing. The food was great. The meal was big. It was pretty cheap. And someone actually paid for my meal. I'm not sure who. The waiter didn't tell me. I suspect that the waiter himself did. Or there was also a waitress who I actually passed by the house of this morning, and she recognized me as I walked in the door. So it might have been her, I'm not sure. Damn. Not the best time to cross. Anyway, time to walk out of town and find a stealth for the night. Welcome to tonight's campsite. I kind of feel like I'm back in the Keys, although I think this might be legal. Hey, come on, bro. We love you, but you've got to get out. Nah, there's not going to be any flies in here. Oh. Don't want you biting me either. I don't know what you would do with your bite. It's a leaf. It's a leaf. It's nice and organic. You'll like it. Oh, you fell off your leaf. Look. Just chill. Morning from just outside the Osceola forest. So this is not the worst campsite on earth. It's actually one of the best ones I've seen. And best of all, it has a logbook, which means that I could actually see all these entries from the people before me, and it really confirmed what I've thought for a while, which is that I've caught and passed the bubble. So there are a lot of hikers behind me. There's not so many ahead of me. I think there's one group which logged in yesterday here, and they would be either 1 or 2 days down the trail, not exactly sure. Maybe they camped here last night. In that case, I might see them this evening. And then there's another hiker who logged in about 4 days ago, so I might catch them, but it's gonna take a while. So yeah, it's the Solitude is a bit different, you know. I've been hiking around other hikers for a long time now, but over the last 2 days of hiking, I didn't really see anyone. So the trailblazers for this section are a bit strange. They route you through this overgrown, completely submerged swamp that's over there, within sight of the trail, and even the official guide tells you not to use them.
Do not attack me. Do not bite me. Nope, nope, nope.
Here's another piece of history. In this forest, 3,000 Americans died fighting each other. This monument was, of course, made by the people who won this battle. I think we have another title holder for most useless boardwalk on the Florida Trail. Welcome to Osceola Shelter, the first shelter on the Florida Trail that I'm actually using. I'm just going to set up my tent without my fly underneath this, and I think it's going to be another huge day tomorrow. I'm just going to smash out these days for as long as I feel like. Leaving the shelter fairly late. It's 7:30. But to be fair to myself, I didn't really want to wade through cold water at night. So there's this huge radio tower here, and you know what I've got to do. I've got to climb it. Now that is quite something. Flat forest in all directions. No hills in sight. That's Florida. Had to do a roadwalk alternative because they're doing a controlled burn, but just for a short section. Oh, look at those sunset colors from the fire and the smoke. That is so good. Leaving the Osceola National Forest right now. Good riddance. It was almost as swampy as Big Cypress, although it did have its highlights. Now for the next section. Well, after 7 kilometers of road walk, the next section. Alright, let's go. Sorry about that.
No, you probably get my voice in there now.
The voice you just heard was Cricket Slayer. Apparently he was the former section leader in this area, and you said that everything's pretty dry. Welcome to the Suwannee River.
Way down upon the Suwannee River, far, far away. That's where my heart is turning ever. That's where the old folks stay. Oh, the world is sad and dreary everywhere I roam. Oh, darling, how my heart grows weary, far from the old folks at home. When will I see the bees a-humming all around the cone? When shall I hear the banjo strumming down in my good old home? Oh, the world is sad and dreary everywhere I roam. Oh, darling, how my heart grows weary, far from the old folks at home.
Welcome to the fairly dead town I just camped outside. It's pretty quiet here at 6 in the morning, but there should be some open diner here someplace.
You know, one thing I don't get is why in a country so cold, everything is always iced. Iced tea, too, that's really, really popular here.
So White Springs was great. The diner was possibly the best breakfast I've had in America. In case you want to see what I'm eating for snacks every day. Every day I have 3 snacks, they're all the same thing. 1 bar of one kind, like 1 energy bar. A couple of handfuls of trail mix. And 3 Jolly Ranchers. 3 times a day, every day, and then breakfast and dinner. I'm trying to get to a church, which I've heard is really friendly for hikers, but the only issue is it's a really awkward distance away. It's like pretty much exactly 100 kilometers, and it's gonna be kind of tough to walk, you know, what is it gonna have to be, 40, 50 kilometers today. I'm gonna have to finish in the dark, so I'm kind of going, do I get there tomorrow? Do I get there the day after that? I'm not really too sure. I might end up pushing a big day today, and I do feel like pushing a big day, but if it involves night walking, like I don't really want to miss the scenery out here. This is good. Interesting place. A very steep hill with a creek crossing at the bottom. Okay, onward. So, a bit of exposition. Earlier this hiking season, about 2 or 3 months ago, we had some of the worst rain and storms that they've ever had in a hiking season on the Florida Trail. Completely flooded all the rivers. And as a result, almost no one has been through here. So, I think I'm one of the very first hikers this season, one of the very first through hikers to actually attempt to follow the entire red line down the river. And it is very overgrown, and there are a lot of blowdowns like that. So it's been making progress kind of tough, which is a bit of an issue because the campsite I want to aim for is still like 20 kilometers away. I've definitely gone off trail. I don't think the real trail exists anymore because of that blowdown. You know what? This is too sketchy even for me. I'm backtracking. Yeah, I'm happy I avoided wading through that. The water looks about as deep as Tolstoy. So this is called the Suwannee Whirlpool. See the water flowing very, very clearly that way. It's not meant to be flowing that way. It's meant to be flowing the other way. The trail is completely horrendous. Like, there's blowdowns everywhere. It's quite hard to locate even in the day. So once it got dark, the track turned from extremely vague to completely invisible. But I'm still following something, and I don't even know how. It's just like the most primal, basic urge I ever had is taking over and is telling me exactly where to go. Just having instant potato mash right now with tuna. Not exactly to my surprise, doing a 50-kilometer day through the roughest section of the trail yet. You know, overgrown, hard to follow, blowdowns everywhere. It was a bit too much to chew. I had to stop at 46 kilometers. So that means that I'm not really sure if I can make it to the church tomorrow. I could, but it's going to be by far the biggest day I will ever have done. So we'll see how far I make it tomorrow. I'm just going to walk until I feel like sleeping. Good morning. I forgot to set an alarm, so I got up and started walking a bit later than I expected. But that might be for the best because these blowdowns are just completely constant. It's obliterated the entire landscape. And I can imagine that this trail looks completely different from what it did a year ago. Because look at that. All across the whole trail too. Would not rate this wade. The water is absolutely foul. Okay, onward. So I've been told that there's probably no one who went to the kickoff who are actually ahead of my position. Basically, I have beaten the entire bubble. I am now pretty much on my own, and there are like 2 or 3 hikers within 4 or 5 days of me I can catch. But yeah, things will get pretty lonely on this trail, I think. The biggest cypress tree in Florida, ladies and gentlemen, rising out of the water, straight out of the water. Honestly, more impressive than the tallest one. Well, this is weird. It's like I'm back in Osceola. I'm very thirsty right now, and I'm completely out of water, so I was hoping to get some water from this place. But everything is completely closed down and wrecked at the moment. There's no water, there's no power, so it looks like I'll just have to keep on going to the next river, which should only be about 1 kilometer from here. Still a disappointment. A lot of stuff has been closed and destroyed. I wandered like 4 kilometers up this side river to cross a bridge, and now it's time for 4 kilometers back down. Apparently this whole place used to be a thriving town. Not that anything's left of it at all. The trail barely exists. That's a spring right there, just on the side of the river. Perfect place to get some water. By the way, I was there like 2 hours ago. Now I'm seeing some ruins. Fair few of them. There isn't even anything terribly interesting to show here. It's just kind of really crappy trail, which is basically non-existent, marked by all these ribbons everywhere, going around these huge swaths of broken, destroyed trees from the hurricane. And then you get tiny bits of trail like this, and then it just starts all over again. Well, I was expecting to get my shoes and feet torn up by thistles. What I wasn't expecting was this. Barbed wire on the trail. I think this might be the last time I see the river in daylight. There's a 1 kilometer section of it further up past a roadwalk, but I have a feeling that no matter what, even if I camp there, I'm going to end up walking that at night.
So I met a bunch of hikers really briefly this morning, and they actually beat me to this campsite by canoeing instead of walking. But yeah, I'm camped over here. This is the very last campsite on the Suwannee River. And the super long road walk starts tomorrow.
Morning, ladies and gents. This is the last view I think I will get of the Suwannee River. So it's been a good time. I mean, it's given me some bad stuff, but it's been beautiful. And I've liked it overall. So I'm happy to have walked it. 120 kilometers down the Suwannee finished. One huge 80-kilometer road walk ahead of me. The longest one I will do in Florida, considering that the last road walk down the Keys was half on separated bicycle lanes, so I guess that doesn't really count. So yeah, basically, longest road walk in Florida. I think it's going to be the second longest one of my trip. And I've heard it's hell, so yeah, we'll see how it is. It was a nice river. The first 20 kilometers, especially around and into White Springs, was awesome. It was so good with all those waterfalls and with those rapids you saw. And in general, that was definitely one of my favorite parts of the trail. Maybe my favorite 20 kilometers so far on the trail. But past that, it degenerated. There were so many blowdowns. And then instead of having these nice tributaries with waterfalls, you just had swamps, basically. You had sinkholes filled with fallen trees. That being said, it was still a highlight to some degree even there, just because I was walking on a river. Like, how often do you walk on a river on the Florida Trail? I mean, it's all swamp, you know? It's all just swamp with a river you can see on the map a very far distance away. You don't actually follow rivers here, so it was a privilege doing so. But I have some local rivers. I have the Murray River, I have the Glenelg River, and if I had the choice between walking down this river and down the very similar Glenelg River, which is on the Great Southwest Walk in Victoria, I would absolutely choose the Glenelg River, no hesitation. So I think that's just kind of a reflection on how ordinary, I guess, this walk has been so far, the Florida Trail. Not really too big a fan of it, although there is some nice forest walking, and it's getting me closer to the Appalachians, so that's what counts. I think someone called this road walk the Baptist Church Tour of Northern Florida. And yeah, it's kind of like that, so I'm actually walking off track to this church to get some water. I was just passed by this guy who was driving around helping hikers out and gave me this. First Dr. Pepper I drank in the States. And it really shows that as much as I rant about this trail and as much as I don't really love it, it's really the people that make it special. It's not the scenery. Nice day today. Already did about 30 kilometers. I'm about to have lunch, I think. Just all these small communities I've been walking through, like just seeing so much of this kind of very relatively remote, regional, rural Florida. It's a funny experience, but I like it. I figure, hey, I've already done 54 kilometers in the day. Why not do another 17? So this is the middle of nowhere, Florida, right? It's a dirt road. I've been passed by about 3 cars in as many hours. That's the fourth. And in the middle of nowhere, I see this. What the? An hour and a half to go and I have a Pepsi. Let's do this. Tomorrow, the Osceola River, followed by St. Mark's, followed by another 500 kilometers of trail before I finish Florida. See you next time.